With Nikon and Canon forever entwined in the camera release war, it seems that Nikon have got the upper hand with the release of the D3S. So we're left wondering whether the 1D Mark IV has turned up to the party fashionably late, or whether it's a case of too little, too late.
The 1D series was introduced in 2001 and was Canon's first pro-level camera to be solely developed and released by themselves. Featured a 1.3 crop sensor and 4 megapixels. 8 years on and we're on its 4th incarnation. The Mark III was noted for its manic 10 frames per second, although it was heavily criticised for its auto-focusing problems. So the question on everybody's lips is, what improvements and features have Canon added to the Mark IV?
On first glance, the Canon 1D Mark IV looks exactly the same as the Mark III.
But look closer and you'll see the differences. One of the big changes is the addition of movie mode,
which you can do in 60 frames per second at 720p, or in high definition mode at 30 frames per second maximum. To access the video mode, you press the set button for live view, and then you press the FEL button on the top.
We mounted the seriously sexy 85mm f1.2 lens, but I won't be licking it like the Nikon girl in the photo club video. So we stuck our card in and tried out the video mode. Focusing it in video mode is a bit of a pain, however, but you can get some stunning crisp HD video on the 1D Mark IV. However, the sound from the standard microphone is mediocre at best. Thankfully, Canon allow you to add an external mic. And of course it suffers from the swaying syndrome that all DSLRs encounter when you pan too quickly.
They've upped the megapixel count to 16 megapixels.
So they added dual Digic 4 processors, so that they could keep at 10 frames per second. And one more time. Oh yes.
The camera feels great in the hands, just like the Mark III, with great ergonomics, a nice rubbery grip, which is great for horizontal and vertical shooting.
But now it has a new 45-point AF system with 39 sensitive cross-type points. All of them are user selectable.
The autofocus works a treat.
Unfortunately, the cameraman was a bit shy about showing his face, which is lined with fish scales. So we'll just show you another clip of the Canon model, who doesn't have a fish scale face.
The Mark IV now features a wider range of ISOs, from 100 to 12,800.
From 100 to 12,800.
Which you can extend
by fiddling with the settings in the slightly clunky Canon menu. That will give you a low of 50 and a stonkingly high maximum of 102,400. What a crazy ISO. At ISO 12,800 the noise is quite noticeable and not as good as the Nikon D3S. At the maximum ISO it looks like it was taken on a mobile phone. So, is the Mark IV really worth the upgrade from the Mark III?
No, not really.
Unless you've got one of the dodgy Mark IIIs with focusing issues, or you yearn for HD video mode, I can't see the need in splashing the cash on the Mark IV. Although it features gapless microsensors to improve the noise, I seriously wonder why Canon bothered to cram more pixels into that APS-H sensor. High ISO capability is amazing, but not without its flaws.
I think that Nikon have got it exactly right with the D3S. Instead of concentrating on upping the pixel count, they've concentrated on getting the IQ right.
Then there are some slight annoyances like the set button which keeps turning with the dial. And I think that the button layout is not as good as the Canon 7D. And of course, navigating through the Canon menu system is like fighting your way out of a duvet cover while drunk. But for now, the Canon 1D Mark IV is the best featured camera in the Canon lineup. Professional photographer or those with really deep pockets, it only makes sense. With the subtle improvements, weatherproofing, and the magnesium alloy body, which is 25 grams lighter than Mark III, not forgetting the frantic 10 frames per second burst mode, 1D Mark IV would seem like the perfect place to splash your cash on.